News 2 at 5.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Gabriel Johnson. New at 5 o'clock, a bus driver contracted by the Charleston County School District has been terminated following an investigation into his interactions with middle school students. News 2's Emma Charles has been digging into the story and joins us live in studio to tell us what we know so far. Good afternoon, Emma.
Good afternoon, Gabriel. That's right. I'm told the bus driver was employed by First Student, the company that supplies drivers for CCSD. But after parents raised concerns about his relationship with their children, he has been fired. Mount Pleasant police were notified by the principal of Lang Middle School, where the two students in question are now in 6th grade. The bus driver, who is not named in the police report, had allegedly been their bus driver while they were in elementary school. After the students moved on to middle school, the report states the bus driver began texting them and showing up to Lang to visit the students. Police and school officials met with the students and their parents, the parents of one student saying the bus driver had shown up to extracurricular events, like the student's 5th grade graduation ceremony, without being invited by the parents. After the ceremony, the bus driver allegedly showed up at their home and asked to be sent a photo of him and the student from the ceremony. We reached out to First Student, the company that employs CCSD bus drivers, and they sent us a statement saying this. At First Student, our #1 priority is the safety of our students, employees, and the communities we serve. The driver has been terminated. We will continue to assist the Mount Pleasant Police Department with its ongoing investigation and, as such, are unable to comment further. The Charleston County School District told us they're deeply concerned about the actions of the contracted driver, saying in part, quote, "As soon as CCSD received this information, we acted immediately. The driver was taken off duty and First Student ended the individual's employment. We're continuing to work closely with First Student to ensure every driver entrusted with our students meets the highest expectations for safety and conduct." CCSD also telling us that many other parents are rallying around the bus driver, who they say is a pillar in their community. As of right now, no charges have been filed. You can count on 2 for updates into this investigation. In studio, I'm Emma Charles. Count on 2.
Thanks, Emma. Well, trains, they can't swerve and they can't stop quickly. After several recent accidents in Berkeley County, National Rail Safety Week is shining a spotlight on the dangers at local crossings. News 2's AC Barker tells us what officials say, why they say this message cannot be ignored.
See tracks? Think train. That's the message this week as Berkeley County deputies sound the alarm after a string of local train accidents. Deputies say too many drivers are taking risks that can turn deadly.
The most common cause we see is people driving around the gates, not being patient, or simply not looking.
Nationwide, a train crash happens about every 3 hours. Here in South Carolina last year, there were 58 incidents at railroad crossings and 17 people were struck while trespassing on the tracks. Look closely at any crossing and you'll see a little blue sign like this one. It has an emergency number to call if a vehicle ever gets stuck on the tracks, helping dispatchers halt trains in time. Lieutenant Paul Yacobosi says he knows the dangers firsthand. He was off duty in the car with his son when he helped rescue a little girl from a train versus car collision in Moncks Corner earlier this year, a scene he says he'll never forget.
I have a little boy who loves trains, and seeing that and having a little one, hey, Daddy, the gates are down, why they go around, kind of reminding him it's a stark example of why you don't, because it's equivalent to you taking a tin can in your hand and squeezing it. We're talking these locomotives are 200 tons, whereas your car is 26,000 pounds. The heavier object always wins.
Deputies say their goal is target zero, no traffic deaths in Berkeley County. They hope this campaign reminds everyone that taking a few extra seconds at a crossing could save a life. In Moncks Corner, AC Barker, count on 2.
It's now time for a check of the weather. Let's head over to Storm Team 2 meteorologist Brant Beckman. Brant, another beautiful day out there today.
Another beautiful day. The code word is sweet tea. Man, it's sweet tea. We're going this Saturday in Somerville. You already got food trucks out there. The place to be this weekend. Somerville's got a lot of stuff going on. and folks are out there enjoying this weather. You can see that little cumulus cloud in the background. See that little white puff of cloud starting to go a little bit vertical there. That's off towards Carleton County and southwest of the Savannah River. Those are the ones that are maybe producing a small shower. That's how isolated these showers are going to be over the next couple of days. Notice everyone else dry. Maybe a small chance right there. If you're under that one cloud, you got 100% of that 10% chance, right? So we're going to be looking at that kind of a situation tomorrow and then also Saturday. So is there a chance for some isolated thunderstorms? Yes, but it's going to be on the smaller side. You can see on the radar, it's picking up some of those towers just to the southwest of Carleton County there, and a little bit more widespread as you get into the Savannah River. Here's what JoJo says. He's ready, impatiently waiting to be taken out for a walk, looking at those 80s, going to the 70s. It's going to be great to do that this evening. Take advantage of that. Here's what the traffic is showing. Got a little bit of slowdown, as we usually do. 526 westbound going into North Charleston. And as you get a little bit closer here, I-26 and the I-526 exchange, it's a slowdown going in almost every direction, but mostly westbound on both accounts. Here's what we have as far as our traffic times. 42 minutes, Mount Pleasant to West Ashley. Downtown to Somerville, looking at about 40 minutes.
The Mount Pleasant Chamber of Commerce held its 15th annual Business and Community Expo today, giving small businesses a big platform. News 2's Hannah Baker got a look at how the expo is a major driver for the town's economic growth.
Here in Mount Pleasant, it's all about shopping and supporting local. And as you can see right behind me, the Chamber of Commerce's Business and Community Expo is bringing together nearly 100 businesses, all aiming to build connections and strengthen our community. A recent study by the Journal of Consumer Research ranked Mount Pleasant's economy #1 on the list of the top coastal cities to move to. And the town's growing popularity and prosperity continues providing opportunities for its local businesses.
We are all about local businesses and small businesses, and this is one reason why we were just named the #1 coastal town economy out of 19 that were surveyed and called desirable on the coast in America.
The Chamber of Commerce's 15th annual Business and Community Expo at Omar Shrine provides local businesses the opportunity to connect directly with the Mount Pleasant community.
That's why we're a town. We want to be a town where people get together, meet, and ideas are hatched, and people get connections for jobs and business.
From lesser-known newcomers getting their names out.
It is our first year being at this expo. Be the Change Charleston is a nonprofit organization that empowers individuals with disabilities through community connections and employment opportunities.
We do credit card processing, POS systems, help businesses accept plastic money. We're all local, hence the local card guy. We are local. We live here, we shop here, we dine here. We support the merchants that support us and work with us.
To longtime partners.
We've been the presenting sponsor for about 9 years now, and we believe it's critically important to support small business and local owners.
Town Mayor Will Haney tells me events like this one continue supporting economic growth of Mount Pleasant today and for the future.
Today, the connections that are made here at this expo will pay off. A lot of the businesses here represent that. They don't need big manufacturing space. They're either small niche businesses. We don't want everything to be a chain store in Mount Pleasant, and so we're putting an emphasis on that as well.
Organizers say events like this give local businesses a platform to connect with customers and with each other, strengthening our community beyond just today. Reporting in Mount Pleasant, I'm Hannah Baker. Count on 2.
Alita, an artificial intelligence-focused healthcare technology company, is establishing operations in Charleston County. The company's investment will create 17 new jobs. It's located in Mount Pleasant, and anybody interested in joining the team should contact info@alitahealth.ai. Fire officials in Carleton County are crediting smoke alarms with saving the lives of 2 people during a house fire. Crews responded to a home on Pine Needle Road just before 3:30 a.m. after residents were awoken by their smoke alarms and were able to get out safely. Once at the scene, Crews were able to control the fire in about 25 minutes. We are told the home suffered significant damage with the roof on one side burned away. The family lost most of their belongings and their car, which was also destroyed. They were checked out at the scene and taken to a nearby hospital for smoke inhalation and were later released. Officials say the cause of that fire is under investigation.
Next on News 2.
We continue in hurricane season, so we continue to get you prepared. We're going to talk generators of Strict coming up next in just a couple of minutes. You're watching News 2 at 5 o'clock.
And how about the weather artist of the day? Gabriella Haffa sent this in. This is wonderful. Notice the trees, really, really well done. And you have little bits of water you see dotted around there, kind of a mist. Looks like the Smokies to me. Here we go. Include your name, age, and school. Mail it to 210 West Coleman Boulevard, Mount Pleasant, South Carolina, 29464, or email us at stormteam2@wcbd.com. Gabriella, thank you so much for sending this in. You are our weather artist of the day.
The anniversary of Hurricane Hugo's devastating landfall is Monday, and with hurricane season underway, you can count on Storm Team 2 and our News 2 team to keep you prepared for any potential storms. The Lowcountry's chief meteorologist, Rob Fowler, joins us live from Generator Supercenter in Mount Pleasant. Now, Rob, we're not expecting any impacts in the Lowcountry right now, but people should still have a plan in place.
Absolutely. That's the best advice we can give you is always have a plan just to be prepared, just in case. It's hard to believe we're coming up on the 36th anniversary of Hurricane Hugo, which was the last major hurricane to make landfall along the South Carolina coast. But we know that we still got a lot more hurricane season yet to come potentially. And Strick is here, Generator Super Center, and you always get us really prepared and get us ready to go just in case something happens. But this is one of your generators, and it's going to keep the power on in a very critical time.
It is. It's going to come on automatically when the power goes out. So the transfer switch, which is connected to the generator, which is also connected to your home's electric utility meter, is going to detect that you've lost power. The generator is going to crank up because it's an engine that creates electricity. That's all it is. And it's going to crank up. It's going to begin to create electricity. It's going to send that electricity into your home's electric panel. Your home is going to be running off the generator created electricity for the entire duration of the utility outage. When the utility company comes out and they resolve the problem, whether it's Dominion Energy or Ori Electric or Santee Cooper, once the utility company resolves the issue, the transfer switch that turned the generator on is going to detect that your power has been restored, and it's going to shut the generator down. It's going to go back into standby awaiting the next outage. Everything's totally automatic.
The cool thing you always mention is, yes, it keeps the refrigerator running with food and all that, but also there's medical issues that come into play too.
A lot of our customers have a medical need, right? And a lot of customers also don't really want to be without air conditioning. And a lot of folks don't realize your home's air conditioning system, it runs off your panel. You can't plug it in and unplug it. So if your home loses power and you have a central air conditioning system, you need a whole home standby generator in order to keep your air conditioner running. It's not something you can plug in. But to your point about medical need customers, we have hundreds of them. Medication that can't lose refrigeration, oxygen machines that have about a 2-hour window to keep running if they do lose electricity. Any number of medical conditions. We prioritize all of our medical need customers as best we can, but the bottom line is we want to provide as much backup power to any customers who may want it.
Great information. Thank you. And we're back here live coming up in just a few minutes. Right now, we're going to send it down the road to our News 2 studios. Meteorologist Brant Beckman standing by. Brant?
Yeah, Rob, Hurricane Irma, 2017, 2 days without a hot meal. First place I got one, someone who had a generator. Really, really popular stuff when the power goes out. So something to think about. In times of peace, prepare for conflict. And so we're looking at very, very nice conditions right now. We're still in the midst, in the peak of hurricane season. Now, things are looking good. Even the long range at this point is looking great. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about here. College of Charleston looking out. Beautiful conditions, and we're going to continue to see that as we go into this weekend. Notice we got a couple of thunderstorms that are trying to pop up just southwest of Carleton County. Might creep into the low country. I think most of that's going to stay out of the way. I mean, this is what I'm talking about. There's hardly anything left here with Gabrielle. Notice it's not completely gone. See that thunderstorm? With the hand here. Thunderstorm right there starting to pop up. Yeah, that means she's still there. It's got a heartbeat. So we're going to monitor this as we go into the next couple of days. But look at all the dry air, the Saharan dust that's being choked up into this system. This is part of the problem that Gabrielle is going through. Aaron's long gone, thankfully. This is something that's worth pointing out because this is what's preventing a lot of these tropical systems from forming this year. We've had a very, very quiet year thus far. The Q word, not supposed to necessarily say it, but we have. It's indisputable. We've been very, very quiet. And even if this system does hold together, it's going to be pushing off to the east and the northeast. It's going to be, it might not even graze Bermuda here. It may just go straight out to the ocean. It may end up getting a little stronger here, getting some better environment. Here's what all the spaghetti plots are showing. All of them pulling it out into the ocean here. We got another one that's another wave pushing off the West Africa coast. We'll watch this going into next week. This is a 10 to 15 day thing that we're watching in the future. Way, way, way back burner stuff. So overall, we're looking very, very good. Long range does keep us on the warmer side of things, well above normal here in Charleston and the low country. And that's, we're talking about 5-10 degrees above normal. So we may be seeing some lower 90s in the future. And also looking at precipitation forecast that's on the higher side of things. Here's what the 5 to 10 days calling for. Showers and thunderstorms increase a little bit Sunday into Wednesday. And then as we head towards islands and beaches, same deal, Monday through Wednesday.
The Pawleys Island Beach Sweep is taking place this Saturday. Volunteers will check in at the Pawleys Island Nature Park. It's located right next to Town Hall at Myrtle Avenue. Trash bags and gloves will be provided for everyone who participates.
Next on News 2.
Reactions are pouring in about the suspension of Jimmy Kimmel's show. Tonight, lawmakers and President Trump are weighing in following this announcement. The suspension of Jimmy Kimmel's late night show ignited a free speech debate in Washington. ABC announced it pulled Kimmel's show off of the air over comments that the comedian made about murdered conservative activist Charlie Kirk. Raquel Martin reports on reaction from Washington.
Kimmel's suspension has lawmakers on both sides of the aisle reacting, and President Trump weighed in from the United Kingdom.
You can call that free speech or not. He was fired for lack of talent. He had bad ratings more than anything else, and he said a horrible thing about a great gentleman known as Charlie Kirk.
President Trump is referring to comments Jimmy Kimmel made during his monologue.
We hit some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them.
Wednesday, FCC Chair Brendan Carr called on broadcasters to drop Jimmy Kimmel Live, saying there are actions the FCC could take. TV station ownership company Nexstar Media Group determined it would not run the program on its ABC stations, calling Kimmel's comments offensive and insensitive. ABC then suspended Kimmel's program indefinitely.
This is an assault on everything this country has stood for.
Thursday, Democrats said the Trump administration is infringing on the constitutional right to free speech.
We know there was federal interference.
They are choosing to exploit this tragedy
to weaponize the federal government.
Republicans also weighed in.
I don't get the inappropriate comments about anybody's death.
I applaud them for polling his show after the atrocious things that he said.
President Trump says he wants NBC's late night host to be axed next. Democrats are now introducing legislation they say will protect individuals and corporations from being targeted by the federal government. We're now in Washington. Raquel Martin, back to you.
Andrew Alford, president of Nexstar's broadcasting division, released a statement on the decision saying, quote, Mr. Kimmel's comments about the death of Mr. Kirk are offensive and insensitive at a critical time in our national political discourse, and we do not believe they reflect the spectrum of opinions, views, or values of the local communities in which we are located, end quote.
Next on News 2.
I'm Dan Fanning live at TD Arena in downtown Charleston for tonight's CFC basketball tip-off dinner. Coming up after this break, I'll be joined live by the head coach of the Cougars, Chris Mack.
Now, Count on 2, live and local in the Low Country. This is News 2 at 5.
Thanks so much for sticking with us on News 2 at 5. We're going to head straight over to weather to our News 2 storm track meteorologist, Brant Beckman.
Yeah, we got some beautiful weather out there, folks taking advantage of it out towards IOP. We're going to talk about what this weekend has for us in the long range.
Now, your Storm Team 2 forecast first, sponsored by your Low Country Chevy dealers.
So it's a perfect day to go to the beach. We've got the warm temperatures, relatively dry conditions, plenty of sunshine. The rip current is on the lower end today, so you have folks kind of enjoying that being out on the water. Will we see these conditions continue into this weekend? I think we will, for the most part. For the most part, I think we are going to be seeing a pickup of these winds, particularly as we head towards Saturday and Sunday. That could lead to some rip currents that are on the higher end, at least the moderate side, and that's something worth noting. But other than that, still a nice weekend that we're expecting. Looking at a couple of these isolated showers trying to push into Carlton County right now. We got plenty of 80s out there. One area with those low 90s out towards St. George. They're winning the contest as of right now. Looking at southeasterly winds, hanging on there. But otherwise, pretty nice evening. Traffic-wise, though, we are seeing some slowdowns, particularly 526 as you're approaching the airport, and 526 going from North Charleston down into West Ashley. Seeing some slowdowns there. Here's what we're seeing from the Don Holt Bridge. Now, you notice they're still moving, right? Things are moving forward here. No accidents to report as of right now, but we have congestion there. Here's what we have as far as our drive times. 45 minutes Mount Pleasant to West Ashley, 40 minutes downtown to Somerville, about 30 minutes West Ashley to Mount Pleasant.
This is the News 2 Truck World Sports Desk, sponsored by Palmetto Ford, the symbol of trust in the Low Country, and built Ford proud for over 56 years.
And good evening, I'm Dan Fanning, live at TD Arena for tonight's CFC basketball tip-off dinner. Please be joined now live by the head coach of the Cougars, Chris Mack. Coach, appreciate your time. Obviously a pretty successful year one. Entering year two, maybe a couple takeaways from year one last season.
Well, I just think that you learn a lot when you go through a league for the very first time. You know, I had never really competed against any CAA teams. I think after going through a year, we needed to be more athletic. You know, we needed a little bit more size around the rim, protecting the basket. And, you know, our staff did a really good job of getting that type of talent in the portal, and I'm excited.
Going off that, what do you like? What are you excited about? You just mentioned the athleticism. You told us a couple weeks ago for the open practice, but what do you like about this year's team heading into the season?
I think we're really versatile. I think we can play a lot of different ways. I think we have answers defensively. We could go small. We certainly can go big. We have some mismatches at certain positions. I think we have a wing that is a terrific back-to-the-basket player. So I think you combine the versatility with the experience that we have. It's a fun group to coach. I'm really looking forward to it.
A chance to kind of meet and greet some of these supporters, some of the boosters here at the college. What do these fans mean to you and your team during the season?
Oh, I mean, they're everything. We've got season ticket holders that have followed the program for 40-plus years and tell me all about it when I see them in the community. So, yeah, I'm super charged up that we get an opportunity to hopefully really please them this year. And, you know, although last year was a good year, we want to have a great year, and the fans are a big part of that.
Coach, appreciate your time.
Absolutely.
We'll look forward to seeing you during the season.
Sounds good, Dan.
A big night tonight at TD Arena. Also a big night tomorrow night for our game of the week, Week 4, as we are heading to Porter-Gaul for the Holy War. BE in Porter-Gaul winning, get this, 83% of the fan vote, as we will be heading to Porter-Gaul BE tomorrow. Bishops are undefeated. Porter-Gaul is 2-2 on the season. For head coach Chris Mack, a big Bengal fan, they have a big game against the Vikings this weekend. Dan Fanning, live at TD Arena for News 2 Sports.
We are excited to resume our News 2 Cool School Teachers and Principals segment for this school year, and we of course want to hear from you. If you have a cool school teacher or principal that you would like to nominate, send an email to Count on Two's Octavia Mitchell at omitchell@wcbd.com and let her know why they are cool. Your school, teacher, or principal may even be featured right here on News 2. Happening Tuesday, Charleston Literary Festival is hosting a community-wide silent reading party in Marion Square in downtown Charleston. It will take place from 6 until 7:30 p.m., and you can bring your current book, a picnic blanket, or lawn chair, and some friends. After a quiet reading time, people will have a chance to engage in a small group guided conversation with other book lovers. This event is free and it's open to the public and will include a giveaway to meet Oscar-winning actress Reese Witherspoon and best-selling thriller writer Harlan Coben. You are required to RSVP through Eventbrite.
Next on News 2.
The Drug Enforcement Administration speaking out on South Carolina's current drug threats. What officials say you should be aware of in our State House report.
All right, here's what we got for the wind and waves forecast for tomorrow. A pretty good day if you're looking at both Saturday and Sunday, where things are expected to pick up a little bit. So nice day ahead on the water, especially for small craft. Tonight, high tide about 6:30 this evening. Low tide about just after midnight. High tide once again about 7 a.m. tomorrow morning. You're watching News 2.
Now let's take a look at what's trending on CountOn2.com and our app. Georgetown native Melissa Jefferson Wooden advances to the finals during the World Athletics Championships in Japan. According to media reports, former South Carolina quarterback Connor Shaw collapsed while coaching his 9-year-old son's football team. And a finance expert weighs in on home foreclosure rates spiking in South Carolina.
Stay in the know on the go with the News 2 app, sponsored by Charleston Amish Furniture.
In Colombia, leaders are warning you at home about a massive fentanyl crisis sweeping through South Carolina. State House reporter Caroline Yaffa was at the news conference and brings us an in-depth look at the threat and the efforts to fight back.
The Drug Enforcement Administration says with South Carolina's growth, the state is a target for drug trafficking, powered by cartels, violent dealers, and prison-based networks. The DEA identifies the Sinaloa cartel as a key player, moving large quantities of fentanyl, meth, cocaine, and counterfeit pills, often through Atlanta. The cartel uses pill presses to make deadly fentanyl look like legitimate medication.
All it takes is one pill, all it takes is one death for it to forever affect your life and your family's life.
They also say drug seizures are rising. Just this year alone, officials seized over 140 kilos of fentanyl, 232 kilos of cocaine, and more than $4.4 million in cash and assets.
Although overdose rates are down across the country, and specifically here in South Carolina, fentanyl seizures in South Carolina are still up 6.5%, or 6.5 times. We want to remind the public to remain vigilant to the dangers and the prevalence of fentanyl.
Across several states, authorities have reported 25,000 fraudulent electronic prescriptions and 54 pharmacy burglaries in the last 18 months.
We may not be able to prevent individuals from breaking into a pharmacy or other location, but by properly securing your medications, specifically highly desirable Schedule II controlled substances, you can certainly make it a lot more difficult for the thieves to gain access to those medications.
But Tooley says there's a new drug on the rise and it's more deadly than fentanyl. And because of that, they always need to adapt to changes.
The rest of the world and the rest of the United States can adapt to those changes. We can't do what we do without our state and local counterparts, so we then have to force multiply with our state and local agencies to let them know about the dangers, what the trends, what we are seeing.
That's why it's so vitally important for parents and loved ones to talk to young folks about taking that pill and risking their lives.
Sterling says 100% of major drug casings in the state have ties to prison-based operations, with inmates running networks from behind bars. In Columbia, I'm Caroline Yaffa.
A deepening partnership between the United States and the United Kingdom. In tonight's Political Minute, Blake Berman has the details.
Foreign policy on the forefront with the president abroad. I'm Blake Berman, host of The Hill on News Nation. On the last day of the president's visit to the UK, both countries signing a memorandum of understanding focusing on AI innovation, nuclear energy, and quantum machines to try to transform defense, finance, and the healthcare industries. In all, deals between the two countries could generate up to $350 billion. The president appearing alongside the Prime Minister Keir Starmer throughout the day. While abroad, the commander-in-chief revealing the United States is trying to once again control the Bagram Air Base in Afghanistan, not far from the border with China. The president also expressing frustration with Russia's Vladimir Putin over the war in Ukraine, saying, quote, "He's really let me down." I'm Blake Berman, and this is the News Nation Political Minute.
Next on News 2.
As we continue hurricane season, we continue to get you prepared right here at Super Center. We're going to talk about how important a generator is just in case. We'll talk about that live next. You're watching News 2 at 5:30.
September is National Preparedness Month, which serves as a great reminder to review your hurricane safety plan. With hurricane season underway, the Low Country's chief meteorologist Rob Fowler joins us live from Generator Supercenter in Mount Pleasant with some hurricane preparedness tips. Hey, Rob.
Hey, Gabriel, we've stepped out to the back of Generator Supercenter. This is where the stock is, and
This is one of our larger liquid-cooled units. As you can see, we've been here before, right? This is where we keep both our air-cooled, our liquid-cooled. We've got all the materials that we need to set up the generators, get them fully installed. But this is where we do our business. We stock the generator so that when a customer is ready to get on the schedule, we have the generator in stock. We don't wait to order it until they buy it.
So tell us the difference between this and the others.
Power. The larger the generator, the more electricity that it can create. It's pretty simple. This is a 38 or 40 kW generator. It's just really more equipped for a larger house with a larger demand. Whereas most of us in America live in homes that are, call it 1,700 square foot to 3,000 square foot house, somewhere in there, and it may be more adequate for you to get an air-cooled generator, the 18 kW to the 26 kW range. But some folks who have a larger need and a larger house go with the larger liquid-cooled units.
So I guess if someone's watching this saying, why do I need a generator? There are so many reasons why, but what's kind of the top of the list?
Well, it's easy. Do you want to lose? Are you okay with losing power, or are you not okay with losing power? It's really just that simple. If you don't want to live without electricity in the event that a hurricane makes landfall and knocks out power for 2 hours, 2 days, or 2 weeks, it may be worth the investment. It's a value proposition. It just really depends on how seriously that individual wants to take protecting their home and family.
I mean, it's been very quiet so far, knock on wood, but we know that last year we had Helene, and we're coming up on the anniversary of that.
Correct. That was the last weekend of September last year. Yeah, we kind of thought last year, we're going to dodge, not have a really hectic year this year as far as hurricanes go, but just like you just mentioned, last year proved us wrong last weekend of September.
Strick, thanks. We're going to head back to the front. Expertise.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Okay, we're going to send it back to our News 2 studios. Speaking of expertise, meteorologist Brant Beckman standing by with a look at what's happening for the next few days, including, I hope, a weekend outlook there, Brant.
Rob, thank you. We're having a very nice weekend in the forecast here. Take advantage of that. This is what we have this evening. Francis Marion Hotel looking over downtown, sunshine, a little bit of warm air, kind of hanging out, but it's not too warm, right? We're not seeing too many of those 90s. Up towards St. George, we had a 90-degree mark. I think we've since then come down to the upper 80s, had a little of a shower near Georgetown. That's starting to dissipate. A few thunder showers trying to gather here in southern Carlton County. Don't think they're going to hang on much longer here. Here's what Vipercast has for us moving forward. So we go to early Friday morning, clean slate, sunshine, maybe a few pop-ups in the afternoon. Maybe. Just a few pop-ups here or there. I think most of us stay dry. Going into Friday evening shows up towards Orangeburg. I think the activity that's showing in Carlton County, take this up here and put it up a little bit closer to Columbia. I think that's more realistic for Friday evening. Looking at Saturday morning, again, we start out with relatively nice conditions, and then we get to Saturday afternoon. You can see there's a lot more coverage up towards southern Appalachia, eastern Tennessee area. That's going to eventually creep its way into the low country as we get towards Sunday. Notice it's not a deluge, just pop-up thunderstorms for the afternoon. They'll become a little more widespread for Sunday. Here's what we have for Friday afternoon. Have more of an easterly push to these winds. Some gusts pushing 20, maybe 25 for Friday afternoon, especially as you're heading out on the water. And then Saturday afternoon, again, now we're pushing 25, maybe 30 as you're heading just offshore. So you're talking about maybe 3 to 5 foot swells, maybe even up to 4 to 6 foot swells. Small craft advisory not out of the question as we approach Saturday and Sunday specifically. So something to think about if you have boating plans this weekend. So and the good news is that the tropics are going to be on the quieter side, at least for the low country. We do have, look at this, Gabrielle, I wrote her off. Now she's starting to show some thunderstorm activity here. So we'll see if she hangs on. And if she does, likely pushing up just east of Bermuda out towards the mid-Atlantic anyway. Have a couple waves that we'll be looking at over the next 10 to 15 days, but that's just it, 10 to 15 days. We got a long range here of nice weather that we're expecting for the low country. 30% chance of showers and thunderstorms starting about Saturday evening. I could reason Saturday evening, but we'll keep it to Sunday. Sunday through Wednesday, that's when we're paying attention to isolated thunderstorm activity, and then it dips once again going into next week. Islands Beach's forecast also showing that 30% chance of showers and thunderstorms. All right, let's talk a little traffic here because we are having just a few leftover spots here. Actually, some improvements to traffic as the bulk of folks getting home. Starting to do that. Still a little slow down there on the Ravenel, but overall, we're doing pretty good. A little bit of slowdown, both getting on 17 Johnny Dodds and West Coleman Boulevard. So just a little bit of slowdown there. Things are still moving though, and that's positive. There you go, Mount Pleasant to West Ashley, 30 minutes, that's pretty good. There you go, 29 minutes. It's gone down a little bit. West Ashley to Mount Pleasant, 20 minutes. Downtown to Somerville, hanging on at about 33 minutes. So overall, things are slowly improving across the area.
Next on News 2.
Berkeley County deputies are warning drivers about recent crashes involving trains during National Rail Safety Week. Next at 6, we'll hear from officials on ways you can stay safe.